Namaste. And give it a few minutes for everyone to come on board, as we are all in the same boat. Good morning. Good morning. We'll get started in a few minutes. I've been just reminding everyone as you tune in to seek out a seat of comfort, acknowledging that that's going to change every day because you change every day, right? Your temperament, your mood, it changes, right? What your body feels like. So give yourself time to find a seat that you might be able to sustain. We'll be together for a little while today, as we are every single day, right? I'm here in the beautiful space known as Shakti. It's nice to share this space with you in a very new and different way. And one of the benefits of being able to do that is that we share the space with new people, with people that aren't in the same location as I am, as this space is. It's giving us the benefit of growing community, right? The global community. Another minute or so before we begin. Feel free to jot, good morning. The smell of green in the spring, yes. Absolutely, Judith, absolutely, right? These gifts. We're so fortunate, especially us on the eastern coast that get the chance to experience a full spring, having come out of such a long winter. That this crisis is occurring at a time where we can see beauty outside, and the light is coming through, and the windows are open, and all of these wonderful things that are opposite of what kind of lockdown might feel like. So thank goodness for that. Okay. Let us tune in together. And breathe in. Let's please take a moment and sending some healing out to all those in need, to all those that have lost, and to all those that are suffering. Namaste. Hi Liz, hi Heather. It's nice to see everybody once again. This is how we gather now, right? Thank goodness we have this, right? Pull us together, bring us together, right? We have a space to come to, right? So today when I was doing my sit, my sadhana, and my meditation, an ant crawled on me. I seem to, all of a sudden today I've discovered some ants at the studio, and one of them happened to crawl on me during my sit, during my meditation. And what I want to share with you is that I chose not to, flick it away, or to leave my meditation, to leave my space, to leave my center for the sake of this kind of annoyance, right? Probably most are in agreement that ants are a bit annoying, right? Now I have to, figure out how to give them a healthy exit, right? So more than likely, good morning, more than likely, we all probably find ants annoying, and we all probably find ants in our structure, in our home base, during spring season. So as I was doing my sadhana, as I was doing my sit, my meditation, good morning, this ant crawled on me, and I just chose to let it be there. I just chose to let it be there. And even though it was a terrible annoyance, right, kind of tickle as it crawled about, the thing that was occurring was it didn't have to stop me, because it was part of me in that moment in time. That this journey that we might all be on in various ways based on how we practice and what we choose to do and what we choose to embrace. But one of the great gifts that can come through this experience is that we are learning how to coexist, right? We can't change the crisis, right? We can't do that, right? We can, of course, adjust the curves by doing diligence. But the bottom line is this experience that we're undergoing together, in quote, is forcing us to have relationship with it, right? We gotta live, right? We're living in the state of quarantine, right? So we're all learning tolerance. We're all learning how to tolerate. And essentially, to me, that's what the meditative experience is. Even that's what the yoga experience is one of coexisting. And the only way you can coexist, the only way you can unite to and with, is to tolerate what's going on, right? And today I just chose to tolerate the annoying tickle from the ant crawling on me in my meditation. Now the thing is that there's no rule about this journey or this practice, on how to live and how to find your personal moments of liberation and how to seek out your union, your yoga. And why I'm sharing to say that is because everyone's tolerance is different. And it's also based on the mood and the temperament of the day, right? Perhaps if something occurred to me that was, something happened to me that was more difficult, maybe if I didn't sleep all night and something else happened on my way in, I wouldn't have been able to tolerate the ant on me in that moment in time. And maybe I would have chosen to open my eyes and give it a toss off, right? I don't know. But I think it's very important, it's very healthy for us to really acknowledge that everyone's tolerance is different and that this is a journey of you paying attention to what can you tolerate? And one of the things that starts to come through simply by asking the question, right? Just by asking the question, we automatically become more open, right? What can you tolerate? Right? We might start to discover that the rules and the boundaries and the stuff that we thought we couldn't tolerate, right? We now can, because we are exercising tolerance every single day through this crisis. We are exercising tolerance every single day through this crisis. So as that's occurring, our kind of tolerance muscles are flexing at a new range and degree, so that we might start to be discovering through this time of great quarantine, this time of great dismay and difficulty, is that what we're able to tolerate is very different from what we thought we were able to tolerate. And to me, of course it's always changing, and there is not one right or wrong answer. But to me, the practice of meditation and or just, the practice of living is being, right? Is allowing yourself to be with, right? And we all have our limits, absolutely, and that will never change, right? So if, say, perchance, you were seated and an ant crawled on you and you cannot tolerate that, right? You have the freedom to flick it off, right? But we also have now a greater sense of awareness of what we can tolerate, what we can live through, right? We are living through this crisis together, right? So for each and every one of us, regardless if it's the scenario of an ant or something else, right? There's a new frame kind of inside our heads on what we can handle, because we are handling life in a very new and very different way, 24/7 now. So we're broadening, right? We're expanding. And these practices do not have anything to do with disciplining yourself or torturing yourself, right? But everything to do with, let me listen inward today. How can I have a relationship with my broken heart today? How can I tolerate the monkiness of my mind today, right? If there's construction outside, you have that choice. Do I leave the windows open and tolerate and let the light in, let the air in? Or is today the day that I need to close the window to find more peace in a different way? And it's always changing, because we are always changing. But I think the thing to celebrate today is that our tolerance muscles have been flexed in a new way, and we are probably able to handle a heck of a lot more than we ever thought we could. Whether it's the tiny annoyance of an ant, or this enormous threat that the world is under right now, right? And everything in between. We're learning how to relate. We're learning how to be with. And that is a blessing. Nothing has to go, right? It's the mind that tells us it does, and sometimes we need to listen to it. And sometimes we come to realize that what we thought we couldn't handle, we now can. Breathe in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Again. Give it one more. Feel free to take a few moments and just move the body around. When we move it around, we come into awareness of what it is, right? What the structure is, the house of the body, the house of the self. We become aware of where we're placed, right? what we're working with today, you might notice your hips are tight or your heart hurts, right? But this is it, right? This is what you have today. And we're holding space for each other right now in this incredible virtual experience to assist each other in the practice of tolerance. And when you're ready, close your eyes. And let's remind ourselves we are not closing our eyes to shut the world out, but rather to merge the inner to the outer. Become aware of all sounds around you. Maybe today's the day we don't have to shut them out. Maybe today's the day we don't need the storyline on how they are obstructing your peace, right? Maybe today's the day we let them in. Maybe today's the day we have a relationship with them. Release down into your hips. And dropping anchor through the base of your tailbone. Let your lower limbs get heavy. Sinking and settling down into the ground. So we're grounding into our reality. We're rooting into our reality. When you're ready, lightly lift the waist, opening the midsection of the body. Gently spread across the collar, opening the center of the chest. Notice that this is a gesture of availability, of openness. Allowing the body to speak this language of, I can handle what comes through right now. I can tolerate it. It's okay if my nervous system or my mind disagree and don't like it. I understand that this is not torture, that this is opportunity. Let's look for our breath. Let's simply becoming aware that we have it, that it's happening. Maybe you can soften through the underbelly and the ribs. In such a way that the breath begins to smooth. Allowing the smoothness of the breath and its quality, if it's occurring. To speak language and communicate to mind and nervous system as it slows and steadies. The softer the belly and the ribs can become, the slower and steady the breath will be. And if it's just not happening today and the breath is shallow or rushed, so be it. That's what you're working with today. We'll learn to tolerate there. If you feel ready, begin to extend the breath so it starts to move into the upper body ever so slowly after the underbelly fills. And once you sense the breath flooding the chest, give it a slow, gradual exit, descending it down toward the base of the tailbone. And as it hits the bottom of the self, just slowly fill through the underbelly, through the midsection, and then the chest. When you sense it filling the chest, send it out and all the way down. And begin to sit in observance of the continuousness of the breath. How it's always there for you. That the exhale feeds its way into the next inhale without disruption. And how the inhale comes through the last exhale without interruption. Allowing the continuousness of the breath to school the critical mind in such a way that we come into greater awareness of what we can handle, of what we are able to tolerate, that there is no obstruction, disruption, or interruption within the breath itself. I'm taking a few more moments here to experience the quality of breathing in this continuous-like way. Allowing yourself to simply just be with whatever occurs, whatever shows its face to you right now. And that ant is simply a metaphor for all the stuff that attacks us, right? All the stuff that annoys us. And sensing the passivity and the fluidity of the breath, medicating nervous system and mind. And as we prepare for our daily lung strengthening exercise together, just a gentle reminder that the slower you're able to breathe, the less difficulty you will have in filling the belly first before it gets to the lungs. And please empty the breath from the underbelly. Breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. Breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. Breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. Breathe in. Retain. Release the lock of the underbelly, letting that breath go, letting that breath flow. And feel free to move the body slightly, reconnecting the physical space to the root of reality, and sitting quietly for a few moments of observance. And as you sit in observance, learn, right? Learn the gift of tolerance as you now know it. And more than likely it's peeking up, right? It's peeking through. Learning how much you really can tolerate, how much there is to relate to, how much that is not the enemy, how much to befriend and coexist with. When you're ready, and slowly open the eyes. And on an inhale, reach the arms up. Bring them into your heart as you exhale. Reach them up as you inhale. Bring them into your heart as you exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. A couple more times. Perhaps experiencing the continuation of the breath. One feeds into the other. It keeps us going. It sustains us. Becoming schooled on this gift of, not really having to be interrupted, right? Right? This crisis can appear to be an interruption. It certainly can appear to be an annoyance. But yet, here we are living with it. We're doing it, right? We're tolerating. One more. As the hands come into the heart, allow them to rest here. Allow the position of your hands to give you a chance to become more heart-centered, heart-aware. The heart is so big, right? The capacity of it is so great. And breathe in. May we continue to practice coexisting with. May we continue to discover that our tolerance has changed. Namaste. Namaste. Thanks for sitting, right? Thanks for sitting with us, right? This big us in this new way, right? I'm here every day. I'll see you again tomorrow if you care to tune back in. Share it with your friends if you know anyone that might benefit from this sit together. We're heading over to Zoom. Christine is placing the information on the screen for me if anybody wants to have a physical practice. Have the best day you can have. Let's seal it up and let us send it out, right? So this reminder that as we take time to sit, get tuned in, get the juices flowing, that we've got something to give, right? We've always got something to give. But this time together gives us a chance to become more aware of what it is, right? More aware of what it is, right? We're less lost, we're less straying, we're less flailing in the wackiness of the crisis, and more centered in it, right? Crisis is still happening, our relationship is shifting, right? So when we're in that centeredness, we become more aware of what we have to give, right? So we send it. We just send it out. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. And may you live with an easy heart. Namaste.